Hello, welcome to another episode of This, That, and the Other. And today I'm going to talk about something I found. I think it showed up somewhere on Facebook, as a matter of fact. It's about a thing that existed on cars back in the 1950s called the Highway Hi Fi, which I'd never heard of. It's actually a record player that was in luxury cars. It folded up and fit under the dashboard, but it was designed with standard LP holes, designed for use in automobiles. It was designed by Peter Goldmark. It was in a Chrysler from 1955 to 1959, 56 to 59 model years. They were manufactured by CBS Electronics, and I quote September 12, 1955 press release saying that Highway Hi-Fi plays through the speaker of the car radio and uses a radio's amplifier system. The turntable for playing records, built for Chrysler by CBS Columbia, is located in a shock-proof case mounted just below the center of the instrument panel. A tone arm, including sapphire stylus and ceramic pickup, plus storage space for 6 long-play records, make up the unit, a button-controlled, whether you listen to the radio or the records. So it's interesting. They were installed, factory installed, and were not available as aftermarket add-ons. So you had to buy the car with it. It wasn't going to be added on to the car later. You couldn't go to a dealership and see one without one and say I'd like to have a Highway car record player installed in my car. It wasn't that way. The thing already had to have it. It says that the product was not a commercial success. Chrysler slowly began to pull support for the Highway Hi-Fi as early as 1957, when high warranty service costs became evident. Another automobile record player was manufactured by RCA from 1960 to 61. The later version dropped the Highway Hi-Fi label, not being Chrysler exclusive, and played standard 45 7-inch records. And that was what I was able to find out on the Highway Hi-Fi. And this is one of the records that was used. So I guess there was a special records that were manufactured for that use. This one's music of Cole Porter. And here's a unit. I guess it folded up, slid into the dashboard. One of the Highway Hi-Fi records was Walt Disney's Davy Crockett, Kings of the Wild Frontier, featuring Fess Parker and Buddy Ebsen. That's interesting. The selection of records was far too limited to the adult demographic. And I quote, making up the collection are Tchaikovsky's Sixth Symphony, Borodini's Pavlovian Dances, Ippolatov, Ivanov's Procession of the Sardar, and the complete score of the Broadway musical show Pajama Game, Walt Disney's David Crockett, Gene Autry and Champion, Romantic Moods by Percy Faith and his orchestra, Quiet Jazz by Paul Weston and his orchestra, music of Cole Porter and Victor Herbert by Andrei Kostelanetz and his orchestra, and dramatic readings from Bernard Shaw's Don Juan in Hell by a cast of top Hollywood and Broadway artists. So there was a limit to what records were played. I get the impression you couldn't have taken your own record from your house and put it in there and used it. They had records that were designed for that type of player. But I can imagine some problems. There's a thing from Chrysler says to make your possession of a Chrysler more enjoyable, more pleasant, more satisfactory. Well, obviously, must have been a lot of problems with them, and Chrysler was having to take care of the warranties and get fixing those things, and I guess it got to be too costly and probably not enough interest either. I can imagine though, you're driving the car and you got a record playing and you have to slam on the brake. I can imagine how that would mess up the record, or if you hit like a pothole or hole or something. I don't know, bump in the road. But anyway, that was a history of the highway hi-fi, and it was before my time. I never saw anyone in any car, and I would imagine there's probably still some around that are in restored Chryslers and probably do not work at this point. But anyway, that's what I was able to find out on the highway hi-fi, and getting closer to show 900, I will be recapping 900 to 999 various shows I've done from that time, and well, 100 away from 1,000 videos, and so the challenge of putting together 100 more, it's like I said, it's not easy to find ideas, and I'm having to go to my list now, my backup list, and base shows on them because I've run out of ideas, and I need ideas on what I can do. Like I said, if it's feasible, I can research it. I'll base a show on it. And that being said, as always, like, subscribe, share, and thanks for watching.